Today on And Mortgages, we discuss
the new Halloween movie.
Really? Well, how about Kanye and what he did on NSL?
And the Solar Observatory plot thickens.
Then I'm going to make Eddie Van Halen cry. Episode 15.
One?
That is right? We're on 15. I mean, we're like way past numbers where I can actually count. I have to reference the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Metal and Mortgage.
Time really flies when you're clocking each week with a number. But you know what? Only episode 52 will be what, a year?
Well, I mean, we probably need to season it after that.
Seasons. So we'll take a season off.
No, hell no. I ain't never giving this up. I don't even care if we lose subscribers. I'm not quitting. I enjoy this too much. I enjoy this time with you.
I appreciate it. Same here.
Here's to sober Rocktober.
All right. So they'll have to drag you out of here. You know, I kind of like that because you shut up for a while. I kind of like you drinking because I can get words.
Look, this is what I think of anybody doing sober October. You know what that is, right?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's where they all quit drinking, quit smoking weed, quit doing anything fun, and then they work out, push themselves for 9 hours a day, and then sit in saunas for, 3 hours and sweat out all the toxins so that November 1st they can go right back to screwing their bodies up. Yep. Makes zero sense to me.
I've heard
Just keep on having fun.
Yep. I mean, to each his own. That's what I say. Did you hear about the original members of Filter is getting back together? Or I guess member, you'd say. The guy that Kirkpatrick, the lead vocalist for Filter, he met, I guess, the other guitarist in 9 Inch Nails. And then, on the first few records, it was him and this other guy was the main writing force. Anyway, they're back together, and they're doing something different this time. Not only they're making a new album, but they're letting the fans choose the name of the record, and maybe even some more.
Maybe the fans will come up with something better than title of record.
Right.
So you're talking about, I guess, one of the
that
guys
one went
that
platinum.
You're talking about one of the guys who worked with him on Short Bus was their first album, I think, and then title of record, I want to say, was their second album. Maybe the guy worked. See, I always thought that it was just him. Okay, Richard Patrick, Dick Pat.
Well, pretty much. I mean, yeah.
By himself, and that everybody else was just hired guns. He did everything kind of like Trent did in the beginning, and it was just him by himself. And then he hired guns to go live.
Well, there was obviously a co-writer. That was one of the main members of the group from the beginning, and he had a lot to do with the writing. So I guess obviously he switched players out over the years, and now they've joined forces again. So I'm hoping, and usually this is the case when you bring back original members to a band, usually it gets back to the roots and you get some heavier tones coming in, because he lost me on the take my picture stuff.
Sorry, Tourette's.
He you know what I mean? Do you want to take my picture?
I'm taking a whole bunch of pictures right now. Thousands of them.
He lost me on that song. And you couldn't get away from it. It was played.
I actually liked the song, though.
Really?
It was a well-written song. I mean, it was catchy. I like it when I just like it.
It just wasn't filtered to me. I missed the riffs. Is it just me, because I haven't heard this anywhere? Nobody seems to be talking about how ironic it is
that I'm dressed like Charlie Sheen right now.
Right. 2 men.
Malabute.
And, well, no, what I'm talking about is Elon Musk was going to take his company private at $420 per share.
Per share. I remember that. We discussed that probably episode 9, something like that. 8, 9. That
$420 per share.
I get it. I know that. Haha.
And then the SEC
we're doing
comes
joke
in.
portion now, because I thought that was later in the show.
And then the SEC comes in, and he's gonna remain CEO, but he's stepping down as chairman. So I guess he's out of the woods. But it's funny that he he was going to take it private at $4.20 a share, and then he gets on a live stream
and doesn't inhale,
and then gets in a lot of trouble.
Where it's legal,
he's going to pay some stiff fines.
To Vibe.
But do you not think that was kind of like a head nod? Like,
no.
I
don't think he thinks like that.
It just happens to be $4.20 per share.
That was a mathematical thing that he thought about for 19 days, and I'm gonna go with $4.20. I don't think
not $4.19.
He's not no.
$4.20.
No, that was if it was after Rogan. Yeah, I'd be like, that's total.
Yeah.
Total connection there, but no.
I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy. And speaking of lawsuits, I know you don't game, but you like to update games. And
I just updated my TV.
And, there's a lawsuit against Friday the 13th.
That was good, by the way. I'm sorry. That was good. It's not every day this motherfucker comes up with a good one, but sorry.
But Friday the 13th, the game.
Hold on. Now the movie's coming out too, right?
No, that's Halloween.
Oh,
we'll get to that.
My bad.
It is October, so we're gonna be talking about we're gonna be talking about a lot of horror things this month. But scary stuff.
Oh, horror. I thought you said horror.
Sorry. Yeah. No.
So Friday the 13th, the game?
The game, right, which was created by Gun Media, the company. They got the licensing supposedly free of charge from Sean Cunningham, which directed the first film. But the co-writer, he raised his hand and he fired a lawsuit at him.
Who wrote the first one?
Cunningham and this other person. I can't remember his name, to be honest.
That was a low-budget film, too, just like Halloween was, right? I mean, it was kind of low, and nobody really thought it would go anywhere.
Yeah, but
they weren't sure.
He directed it, but there was also, a head writer. And anyway, they've been going back and forth over the years. And somehow or another, sequels have gotten made, and then they'll be bickering again, and then I don't know. And somehow this game got made, and it did really well. It got on Kickstarter. I don't know if you guys have played it yet, but if you're into gaming, that Friday the 13th game, give it a shot. It's actually really decent, and Nintendo tried to do something back in the day, and
they're too cartoon. They're more for the younger crowd. As far as their gamings, it's too cartoonish.
But no, this is great. You can be Jason or you can be a counselor. Lots of blood and different kills and
at camp, whatever
and you run from cabin to cabin, setting bear traps, and if you're Jason, you have these special abilities and you can morph from place to place on the map. It's actually kind of neat, and the whole point is to escape. If you're a counselor, you got to fix the car or fill it with gas. Then you got to find a piece of the engine and the battery, and it's kind of neat
to escape Camp Suckawami.
Yeah, and so anyway, but now the game's been halted. No more updates. No more DLC content, which is downloadable content. The only thing that they're allowed to do is just release bug fixes and stuff from here on out.
My parents bought a video store in Daytona Beach a long time ago called Hollywood Video, not associated with the other Hollywood Video that became a nationwide chain. This was in '86. And one of the few things we got screwed on the deal, I say we, the guy who sold us the store had two other stores, and he misrepresented the amount that the store made, profited, all that kind of stuff. We were thinking we were going to be, ranking in six figures after everything at the end of the year, and it was costing us $6,000 to $8,000 a month, something like that, just to run the store. So one of the few things we got out of it after basically told him he has to buy it back from us at cost, this and that, and we ended up with some like video cameras and things like that, because that store not only like rented and sold videos, but it also sold like stereo systems and TVs and small amounts,
Right.
About as big as this room was our showroom as far as that goes, but we ended up with some video cameras, and that allowed me to make my own horror movies that I call my life. Most
of my home movies are on Hi8, so I can't. So I can't easily watch them.
That's some white people problems.
But my go-to video store when I was growing up was called Barry's Videos.
Over on Bob Wallace and Jordan.
We had a Barry's number 1, a Barry's number 2.
Barry's number 1 was Bob Wallace and Jordan. I used
Barry's
to go
number
all the
3
time.
was my go-to.
That place was the bomb.
Yeah.
That place was great. I loved Barry's.
Used to go up there with your stack,
Yeah, man. Be kind and rewind.
But speaking of classic movies, the new Halloween, man, it is fixing to drop, and I'm excited because the critics are raving about it. There's a lot of fan service in there too, but I think they've really done it well this time and not only is Jamie Lee Curtis coming back, John Carpenter, the original director, he's back as a producer, but also he helped on the music this time on the score, which he created the original dun, 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 dun,
I actually heard somebody talking about the original Halloween movie and that like its first test audience, it failed. It did not do well,
right?
Because it had no music score whatsoever.
Yeah.
And he went back and he added the music score, and it killed, man. Pardon the pun, but it killed, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it. Without the music, that movie sucked.
Yep. Little 1978 keyboard did the trick. Little Casio,
that's a trip,
maybe.
dude. That's a trip. Well, have you ever seen those where they do like the music for the movies?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty. Nowadays, it's pretty damn elaborate. It makes this room look like garbage.
But I don't think he had that. This movie was done on a budget of about $300,000.
Which back then was probably about $1 million today. Maybe $1.5 million.
We'd have to look that up. But not only is John Carpenter coming back, the actor that played Michael Myers in the first film, he's also coming back and playing Michael Myers again. He's putting the mask back on.
No way. How old do you think he is right now?
Well, I'm not sure, but I'll tell you this. If this gives you,
is he going to be like walking like?
No, he's doing pretty well.
I'm coming.
He's looking in shape.
He must be doing sober rock.
But he also after Halloween in '78, he went on to direct The Last Starfighter. So Michael Myers is the director for.
I love that movie, man. That movie came out. I loved that movie, dude, because I was that age,
Right. I rewatched that recently when we were.
You saw it when it came out, or was it later when you saw it?
No, I saw it when it came out.
Because you were probably 6 or 7 when it came out.
Whenever it hit the video stores,
Yeah, that was like 87, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's classic.
86.
It's
love that movie, man.
The effects are classic '80s, but anyway. And I don't know if you know this. Some people may not know this. I'm sure you do. But Michael Myers, they were on a shoestring budget for the movie, and so they had a clown mask. They had maybe a few other things, but he just went to the local little Halloween shop and he came back with a clown mask and a Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek. And
Kirk?
That's right. And he painted it white, and they tore the eyebrows off of it, and boom, there's Michael
Really?
Myers.
I did not know that. I'd have never guessed that.
So Michael Myers, that everybody's scared of and became this icon.
It's really just Captain Kirk without eyebrows.
Is Star Trek, man. It's William Shatner's.
That's awesome.
It's a mold of William Shatner's face.
Holy Shatner.
And you can probably, you'll catch on eBay sometimes a 1970s Shatner mask. And it is expensive.
I bet.
If you want one.
I bet it is.
Yeah. And they cut the eye holes out, okay? Because they
right.
Were
well, yeah.
So they open the eyes up to give it more.
What if they bought like 10 of them? Like, oops.
Yeah.
Let me get this other one.
Yeah, he said.
Let me get this one.
He said they did a lot. They painted a lot of them up. Bought a bunch of them. They needed leaves falling, so they actually had to rake up leaves and put them down and then shoot and then rake them back up in the bags and take them to another location.
Right, because it wasn't fall when they shot the
God,
movie.
People were just bitching about that one. Did you know that Jamie Lee Curtis's mother is the lady in the famous shower scene in Psycho?
Yeah.
The black and white Hitchcock movie.
Well, her dad's Tony.
But how crazy is it that her first breakout movie role she gets
she was only like 18 or something like that then,
right.
too.
But how crazy is it that she got her whole breakout movie role was also made her a scream queen, like her mother.
Yeah.
And actually, Halloween has it's been more successful franchise than Psycho ever could even think about being. I'm not saying that nothing to take away from Hitchcock. He's a great director, but just the overall story and how longevity.
Was it True Lies that she made the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That's right.
Like he was a big spy or whatever, and she didn't know what he did for a living, and she had to go dance for it. That particular scene was pretty hot. I mean, I've never really looked at her like that.
Puts her hands in the flowers and gets the water and slicks her hair back.
I've never really seen her like that before, or saw her in that light before. I've never looked at Jamie Lee Curtis and thought, ooh, But that particular scene made me go, damn.
Maybe
girl was rocking.
Maybe
worked out, looking good.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my wife. I have to say that. All right.
And John Carpenter, after his success with Halloween, he went on to do one of my other favorite films, Big Trouble in Little China. I know you don't like it, but
I'm gagging on a dick right now.
Man, it's a classic.
Edit.
That's where Mortal Kombat got Raiden from, if you ask me. If you
ever want to waste like an hour and like 30 minutes of your life, watch that shit.
No, it's got Kurt Russell in it. It's really
horrible.
good.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's stupid. Makes no sense. It's a dumbass movie full of dumbass shit.
No, it's karate.
It's martial arts mixed with
martial
bullshit.
arts with
dumbass
monsters
bullshit and comedy. That's not really funny.
It's like a Save the Princess type of movie. It's funny. It's like
you're better off watching the infomercial on the new Shark Rocket vacuum cleaner.
This guy.
It's more interesting.
Next, he's going to review
3 easy payments of $39.99.
If you believe that,
and one really complicated payment.
Go look at Bob's review on cheese and wine. And go get.
I don't eat cheese or drink wine.
Exactly. So that's
now
why
Mad Dog.
You shouldn't listen to him.
Check my Mad Dog reviews. That's just the bomb. Orange Jubilee was the
It'll
shit.
Get you in trouble.
The grape is what fucking sucks. Grape stuff is horrible. Orange Jubilee was the shit. And if you ever got like bird shit on your car that wouldn't come off, Orange Jubilee, take it right off.
It's paint thinner.
It's great. Loved it. So you know who else is putting on masks or took his mask off? Frickin' Kanye.
Oh, I don't know.
Kanye, as not Kanye Smith, that guy, that you cut your lawn.
Kanye East.
No,
I mean West.
No, that's the guy who bags your groceries. Kanye West. He
was wearing a mask at some point.
Well, I mean, he you just never know what to expect out of that guy. It kind of surprised me. I do not watch SNL. I haven't watched SNL since, I'd say, in at least 10 years because they've become too political, and I have no interest in their politics.
I don't have cable or an antenna, so I haven't seen it either.
Yeah, but, well, basically I haven't watched SNL since probably Jimmy Fallon left, and that's been a while. So I haven't watched Jimmy Fallon either. So since Trump took office.
So what did he do? What did he?
He went on Saturday Night Live as their musical guest.
Oh,
musical guest, Kanye West.
Hey, that's pretty good. When that guy croaks, you should go apply.
Lorne Michaels. Is that who does their announcing? I don't know who does their announcing.
So what mask was he wearing? What are you talking about? He took the mask off.
He put on a "Make America Great Again" hat
for the show.
Well, I think he's been like wearing that all over just to piss people off. He come out, he's got his red "Make America Great Again" hat on. All right, he's got his mic and he's kind of like pacing to the stage, talking to the people. Everybody backstage was making fun of him and telling him, do not go out there wearing that hat.
How do you know this?
Because that's what he said.
He says a lot of things, though.
Because it's Saturday Night Live and all they do is hate on Trump. Simple as that.
I mean, this is the same guy that, came out at the movie awards and took an award out of somebody's hand. And
I'm going to let you finish. But...
Right. So the solar observatory, man.
You talked about that last week. A bunch of Black Ops or Black Hawk helicopters kind of invaded a solar observatory, which has a telescope, in New Mexico, and shut down the local post office too, or some shit. Evacuated it.
They wouldn't come. The FBI came in.
I'm just trying to kind of recap.
Right. Yeah, that's good. The FBI came in and they wouldn't say anything, you know. Appreciate that. And he had a belch there.
I didn't want to get the juice on.
They wouldn't say why it shut it down, and then so weeks go by, and then they claim that there was some server being used, something having to do with child pornography, which to me is just ridiculous. There's been photos that's leaked. Wait, a viewer sent this to you. They sent you, and we looked up some of the photos. We haven't had time to check.
No.
We haven't had time to fact check this.
When we sat down to do this show,
yeah,
I got a text from one of my friends. I'm going to barbecue with you, bro, very soon. I promise. When I get time. This dude is in the know. And he sent me this, like, follow-up to that.
Yeah, it was a very cool video. And I looked up the images, too. And there are images out there. Looks like craft to me. There's a bunch of things, all anomalies, flying around the sun. And that comes out that this observatory is the most powerful, one of the most powerful solar observatories in existence. That can see certain anomalies and all this. And anyway, I guess the theory is that the FBI has shut it down due to that.
So did you hear about the skull-shaped asteroid?
I think I did see something.
Yeah, there's on October 31st, there's going to be a skull-shaped asteroid coming close to Earth. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, would you like to know the primary reason that I'm drinking today? Primary.
I don't know. Had a good day?
Because this whole sober October thing is stupid.
Okay.
And this is me thumbing my nose at all those that are like, sober October, I'm going to the gym, bruh. Going to the gym, then I'm going to go do hot yoga, and then I'm going to go get in the sauna.
So on No Shave November, are you going to shave that off?
No, never.
Protest that
never.
one?
I haven't shaved this off in over like a year and a half. When I don't have a chin, trust me, you'll be like, ooh, you need to cover that back up. You need to cover that back up.
It's not that bad.
Your chin, it's horrible.
It's not that bad.
When I had long hair, it was different. The reason I grew this out was back in like 2004, I think it was. I'd met this chick, and for some reason she was like, you should grow a goatee. I bet you'd be sexy with a goatee.
A goatee.
A goatee. I'd never grown one before. Dude, I can't grow a beard right now. It would take me literally a month to even get something you could see. I grow a little patch right here on my cheek and a little bit down here. My neck gets full, but everything else looks, no. So it'd be a total nightmare.
Right.
However, my nephew, when he was like 19, had like a full red beard. He's got that red. I got that
right.
Ginger, no soul, all that stuff. He can grow a beard overnight. But I now hold on now. The hair growing out of my ears, on the other hand, I got to take care of that daily.
That's always been funny to me when somebody's got a full. I forget who did that. Will Ferrell or somebody. He got full mustache. I think he was on a talk show or something. They said it. So now, how long did it take you to? He said about 5 hours.
Okay. Well, you got a full face of hair there, or close to.
No, I'm.
Yeah. Oh, you.
These are my.
Your thing here looks like I can make a woman be like, woo.
And no, it's right in here. I can't do it. Nothing happened. It's the Indian. I got Indian in me, I think, is the problem. My grandfather on my dad's side.
So you're like Dianne Feinstein.
He had no hair. Barely any hair on his legs. Zero hair on his upper body. Other than his armpits, nothing. My dad's dad. But my dad is a freaking werewolf. And I'm like somewhere in the middle, I guess. I don't know.
You ever like go to put on deodorant like, I need to trim those?
No, never.
You've never had to trim at all? I did it just to see when I was younger. I was younger. I didn't know if that's something we do. There are certain things we don't talk about. Last weekend, the Ordinary Guys talked about something that I thought was kind of important. And one of them admitted that they wipe back to front.